Nestled at the edge of town, overshadowed by gnarled trees that seemed to whisper fearsome secrets, stood the infamous House of Shadows. Its time-worn facade, adorned with cracked windows and peeling paint, exuded an aura of malevolence that deterred even the bravest of souls from venturing too close. The locals spoke in hushed tones about the cursed history that clung to the dilapidated structure like a sinister mist. One overcast afternoon, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to challenge the ominous reputation of the house. Drawn by the allure of forbidden mystery, they approached the decaying mansion, their hesitant footsteps piercing the desolate surroundings. As they neared, a chilling wind whispered through the skeletal branches overhead, as if a warning to them of the darkness that awaited within. Outside the house, partially concealed by overgrown weeds, lay an abandoned child's scooter. Its vibrant colours had faded into muted tones, and a layer of dust hinted at its long neglect. The sight of the lonely relic intensified the unease that already hung heavy in the air, as if silent testimony to the eerie events that unfolded within those haunted walls. Undeterred by the ominous atmosphere, the group crossed the threshold into the house. The air inside was stale, thick with the weight of forgotten memories. As their eyes adjusted to the dimness, the flickering lights revealed an interior frozen in time. Furniture draped in dusty sheets and cobwebs clinging to the corners like ghostly tapestries. As the explorers delved deeper into the heart of the house, the temperature dropped and the oppressive darkness seemed to come alive. Whispering shadows danced across the walls, taking on all forms that defied logic. The unsettling creaks and groans from the ancient structure intensified, echoing through the empty halls like a mournful lament. In a room untouched by the decay that surrounded it, the group discovered an old children's playroom. Forgotten toys lay scattered across the floor, frozen in a haunting tableau of abandonment. Among them, a weathered doll's house stood as silent witness by the bygone days when laughter and innocence reverberated through these now desolate halls. Their sense of dread heightened when they stumbled upon a dusty, forgotten journal. Its pages chronicled the tragic tale of a family that had once called the House of Shadows a home. As they read, the words painted a portrait of a once happy household that fell victim to an unspeakable tragedy, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow and despair. As the group absorbed the chilling accounts, the temperature in the room plummeted, and a ghastly apparition materialised before them. The spectre of a grief-stricken child, her hollow eyes filled with sorrow, hovered above the abandoned toys. The air grew heavy with the weight of her lingering anguish, and the group recoiled in terror. Fueled by a supernatural force, the shadowy creatures within the house awakened. Formless entities slithered along the walls, their movements synchronised with the pulsating heartbeat of the haunted mansion. Desperation gripped the explorers as they realised they had become unwitting intruders in a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead were blurred. Frantic footsteps thundered through the dim corridors as the group attempted to escape the malevolent grasp of the House of Shadows. Yet with each turn, their layout seemed to shift, trapping them in a nightmarish labyrinth. The shadows, now tangible and hungry, reached out with tendrils that defied the laws of physics, threatening to pull the intruders into a realm of eternal darkness. In a climactic struggle for survival, the group encountered the source of the house's malevolence, a spectral entity that embodied the accumulated pain and suffering of generations past. The air crackled with supernatural energy as the entity, a swirling mass of shadows, confronted them with an otherworldly wail and reverberated through the haunted halls. As the confrontation unfolded, the child's scooter outside the house rattled and clattered as if responding to the supernatural turmoil within. The abandoned relic became a conduit for the restless spirit, its wheels spinning in erratic patterns that mirrored the chaos unfolding inside the house. In a moment of desperate inspiration, one of the teenagers unearthed a forgotten relic from the playroom, an ancient music box adorned with delicate ballerina frozen in perpetual pirouettes. With trembling hands, they wound the music box, releasing a haunting melody that cut through the oppressive atmosphere. To their astonishment, the spectral entity recoiled, its form undulating in agony as if repelled by the ethereal tones. Seizing the opportunity, the group retreated, following the faint sound of the music box as their guide through the shifting maze of shadows. As they crossed the threshold and emerged into the fading daylight, the House of Shadows seemed to exhale a final mournful sigh. The spectral entity, bound by the music box's enchantment, retreated into the depths of the decaying mansion, its malevolence temporarily subdued. The teenagers, shaken and forever changed by their harrowing encounter, watched from a safe distance as the House of Shadows receded into the background. The child's scooter, now still and forgotten, bore witness to the transient triumph of the living over the spectral forces that had held sway within those haunted walls for decades. The once imposing mansion stood as a silent sentinel, a secret guarded by the shadows that clung to the time-worn exterior. The legend of the house persisted, a cautionary tale whispered in the quiet corners of the town, ensuring that the legacy of the haunted abode endured long after the trauma of the spectral encounter had faded away.